Hello everyone, I'm Heather Dawson, and it's a pleasure bringing you the best of California every week on our show. And this week, we shine the light on the central coast of California, where you can find the beautiful Cliffs Resort. Conchetta DeLuca shows us why this spotlight staycation makes our best of California list.
Beaches, mountains, charming towns, famous vineyards, San Luis Obispo County has it all. Located between San Francisco and Los Angeles, this is the place to savor the best of the Central Coast California lifestyle. And when it comes to taking it all in, one of the best places to stay and play is the Cliffs Resort in Pismo Beach.
The Cliffs Resort is a place to come and sort of see and be seen. It's fun. It sort of reminds me almost like the coast of Hawaii. The cliffs are sort of carved out. You come as you are. It brings all walks of life. The Cliffs Resort is a melting pot where everybody can come and enjoy happy hour or have dinner and get a panoramic view of the ocean, get kissed by the sun and blown by the wind. So it's a great spot.
With 150 rooms, oceanfront suites, pool, spa, beaches, direct shuttle service to downtown, and other 5-star amenities, the Cliffs is a one-stop shop for fun and relaxation.
After a long day working up an appetite, indulging in all the best that the Cliffs Resort has to offer, there's only one place to dine.
Marisol. With a to-die-for view of the Pacific, tranquil ambiance, and resort-like atmosphere, Marisol certainly draws in the crowds, but what keeps them coming back for more is the fresh, organic, locally influenced menu that reflects the region's commitment to farm-to-table and vine-to-glass wine and food.
With a farmer's market almost every day here in San Luis Obispo County, it's easy to find locally produced vegetables, meat, fish, and we try to keep things as seasonal as possible, develop good relationships with farmers, ranchers, fishermen, and it just makes it easy for us, once you have and develop the relationship, to get the product in constantly.
It's this commitment to supporting SLO County farmers and purveyors that made Sunset Magazine choose Chef Wengard to participate with other hot local chefs at their 3rd annual Sunset Savor the Central Coast. The famous Santa Margarita Ranch will play host to this gastronome gala that will feature celebrity chefs like Food Network's Artie Sequeira of Artie Party and Ted Allen of Chopped. Guests can take part in culinary adventures and taste the best of more than 100 wineries, 10 local breweries, and 30-plus chefs. And Chef Wengard will lead a team of culinary masters who will be preparing an internationally inspired menu at the Sunset International Wine Competition Grand Tasting and Dinner, premiering this year in Pismo Beach.
I'm really excited to be part of the International Wine Competition at Pismo Beach. There's going to be a reception that's going to take place at first. A lot of the wineries and winemakers will be pouring and tasting their different wines. A lot of the chefs for the reception will be making dishes specifically for different varieties of the wines. Then after the reception, there'll be a formal sit-down dinner that will be coursed out with different chefs preparing a course for each.
Sunset Savor the Central Coast is a wonderful way to savor everything about the region in one stop, from its wine and food and clam bakes on the beach to farm tours and gardening tips. And while you're in town, don't miss some of the great attractions here, such as Hearst Castle, Morro Bay Natural History Museum, San Luis Obispo Mission, Atascadero Zoo, golf courses, theaters, art galleries, and of course, more than 200 renowned wineries of Paso Robles and Edna Valley. Bringing you the best of California from Pismo Beach, I'm Conchetta DeLuca with California Life.
Holiday time is a traditional time of giving, and new insights from a national survey find that millennials are the most likely to do background research on charities before donating. In fact, millennials, more than any other generation, not only are doing their research before donating, they're also introducing their children to more types of charity.
We found that 61% of millennials surveyed say that they talk to their children about giving. And of that group, half of them will actually investigate a charity always before making a gift.
And that research found some interesting reasons why millennials are more informed donors than any other generation.
If you imagine that they're growing up in a world where institutions aren't trusted anymore and there's always information around. They're used to sort of going to their phones to find out everything they need to know. It's not surprising then that they would be actually investigating or researching charities before making gifts.
So when considering making a contribution to a group or organization, no matter what generation you are, there are some important things to remember.
You want to make sure that you don't feel pressured to make an immediate gift. And if you're turned on by a particular charity, you want to make sure that it's the charity that you intend to give to and not one that has a similar sounding name. And if you're getting solicited via the internet, especially emails, be very careful. Charities generally won't solicit you via email unless you've given money to them in the past.
And with a finite amount of money out there to be donated to charitable groups, it's important that all of us do some homework. But that can be time-consuming. So the Better Business Bureau has done the research for us on thousands of national and local charities.
Well, first of all, let me just say that there is no one best charity. There are charities out there that are doing good work and trying really hard, and there are some that maybe aren't managed as well, and then there are some that are just out-and-out frauds. You don't want to be caught up in those last two, and the best way to avoid that is starting by going to our website, give.org, where you can find 1,500 national charities that we've actually vetted. You can also find about 5,000 local organizations that are out there soliciting you that have been vetted. So we take a lot of the hard work out of the process.
And that process is extensive. Give.org uses 20 standards to rate these charities, from management to finances to the effectiveness of their mission. And all the reports are available for free. So before giving this holiday season, do a little research at give.org. Bringing you the best of California, I'm David Wylie for California Life.
Thanks for having me. I've partnered with the following 4 brands to bring you tips on getting the house ready for the holidays. Let's start in the kitchen. Guests always spend time in the kitchen, right? And if yours is looking a little outdated, GE Appliances is bringing more wows to the kitchen with the largest selection of premium finishes on the market. Available on select GE Profile, and GE Cafe products, owners can now choose the new black stainless, stainless black slate, and slate finishes. Black stainless is a high gloss tinted clear finish. The black slate offers a dark matte finish, and the slate is a matte that hides fingerprints. And you want to create an aromatic home experience. Spread the joy this holiday season with this year's limited edition Wick seasonal scents, including warm apple crumble and woodland pine. To help spread the joy this season, Wick is proud to support the Global Fund for Children with a donation that helps spread joy to all children in need. And my secret for delicious holiday cooking is Just Mayos and dressings. These versatile, allergen-friendly, chef-crafted products add instant flavor to any dish. Just Mayo is an ingredient shortcut for cakes and pie crusts like my favorite, sweet potato pie. It also mixes perfectly with 1 or 2 other ingredients for impressive apps like Creo Dip. Find recipes and flavors at eatjust.com. And you want to have fun, right? When hosting a holiday party, set up a festive coffee bar for your guests with the Keurig K-Compact Coffee Maker. It's slender, space-saving, and it comes in a festive red color. Put peppermint, honey spoons, and a mix of Rev coffee and Swiss Miss hot cocoa K-Cup pods together. Available for under $50 this holiday season, exclusively at Walmart and walmart.com. And for more tips, go to my website, lauradellutri.com, and click on my blog. Happy holidays!
And coming up next, you'll want to stick around for our next California profile on one of the most beloved cowboys in Hollywood history. Stay with us. I had the honor of interviewing legendary cowboy Roy Rogers and his beloved wife Dale Evans shortly before he passed away. Now let's take a look back at this amazing California couple with David Wylie.
For years, the names Roy Rogers and Dale Evans have been synonymous with the high desert town of Apple Valley, while many of their celebrity contemporaries were living in glamorous places like Beverly Hills. The King of the Cowboys and the Queen of the West made rural Apple Valley their home for more than 30 years.
We like the heritage that Roy and Dale took and brought to this community, the Western type heritage, and what we have going on with that.
The Rogers first came to Apple Valley in the 1950s at the invitation of developers Bud Westland and Newt Bass. Soon they had opened the Roy Rogers Apple Valley Inn, which attracted many A-list celebrities of the time, including Tony Curtis, Lucille Ball, and John Wayne. In fact, Bob Hope once described the inn as a place of pure joy and untroubled happiness. Roy and Dale quickly became part of the community, with many residents having fond memories of the Rogers.
Well, I went to a church where Roy and Dale went to church, that Church of the Valley. My first recollection of Roy and Dale is when we were in a small chapel. I sat down and he sat down next to me, and I was 7 years old. This is the guy I watched on TV every Saturday. And so we stood up to sing one of the hymns, and he put his arm around me, and we sang that hymn together, and that's how he was. I mean, as you grow up here, you saw them all that time.
In fact, over time, seeing Roy and Dale throughout town became more and more common. I even had an opportunity to meet Roy and Dale back in the 1990s and found them to be bigger than life, yet down to earth. Even today, driving through Apple Valley, you'll notice that there are streets named for Roy and Dale, while Highway 18 through the middle of town has been renamed Happy Trails Highway. But the Rogers didn't just live in Apple Valley, they contributed as well, establishing the Happy Trails Foundation to work with troubled youth. The foundation is still in Apple Valley, and many celebrities still participate in its annual golf tournament. And Dale Evans was instrumental in helping build a chapel at the Sunset Memorial Park in Apple Valley that bears the name of her and Roy.
Shortly after the passing of Roy, she came back at me and said, "Chet, I want to build a chapel in memory of Roy's name." And I said, "Well, I can't really do that for just him. I have to do it for you as well." So we met several times and started drawing plans and started playing with it. So she got to see some of the preliminary stuff before she passed, but she came up with some great ideas on doing things here, and she wanted to celebrate life.
And the celebrations of life that Dale loves so much continue in that chapel just a short distance from where she and Roy are buried, a place that is still visited by hundreds of fans every year. And while they've been gone for a number of years, the impact of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans in Apple Valley is still evident today.
They were very special people, and certainly great role models. You know, you just wish today that there were role models like Roy and Dale for young people, and there should be again.
In Apple Valley, I'm David Wylie for Southern California Life. It's probably not surprising that healthcare costs rank as the most burdensome among common living expenses for senior citizens. Yet seniors are pretty unlikely to shop for a Medicare plan. That's according to a new survey called the Cost of Complacency, which reveals surprising perceptions and behaviors among our seniors when it comes to healthcare.
Despite the fact that healthcare costs are the number one most burdensome cost for them, they don't comparison shop as much as, say, internet service or their cell phone coverage. And of course that leads to problems because they may not have the kind of coverage they need, and also they may be leaving some money on the table.
And while the deadline to make a decision about Medicare enrollment is just days away, Bart says there is time to make a good decision.
December 7th is a hard and fast deadline, and after that, you're locking yourself in for the coming year. So it's important that you take that time to review.
And while many seniors are on a fixed income and money can be tight, it's important to remember that the lowest premium is not always the best option.
The premium level is important, but I want to encourage people to look at the whole package, not just the premiums. You have to be able to look at, well, what are the deductibles that are involved? What about the co-pays? And then to see, well, what about if you have limits on certain, like diagnostic tests may not be covered up after a certain number of them. So you have to look at exactly what's going to be for you in your life. I mean, a lot of times we look at our healthcare looking in the rearview mirror and say, this is where I was, but you have to look forward and say, well, here are the costs coming up that are important to me.
Given that healthcare spending is expected to increase every year and that virtually every Medicare plan changes each year, seniors could be missing out on savings if they're not planning ahead. With that in mind, there are a number of good places to get more information.
Go to Medicare.gov. That's a great site to really find out the kinds of plans that are available to you. You can go to costofcomplacency.com. Again, a lot of advice for you. I also want to encourage seniors to go to their local senior centers. There you're going to find people who are experts who can meet with you one-on-one so that you're not just getting more information, but you're getting the guidance that you need to kind of find what's really good for you, not just generically what's available to everybody.
And again, remember the Medicare enrollment deadline is December 7th, so it's important to do your research quickly. Bringing you the best of California, I'm David Wylie for California Life.
7 years, emergency rooms, 7 different GI doctors. Finally, my last GI doctor thought outside of the box and used a pediatric scope on me and was able to get into the ileum where the tumor was hiding the whole time.
A very long, agonizing journey for Mary Ann Wayman, suffering from a rare cancer she never knew was completely destroying her life.
I then proceeded to have surgery to remove the tumor and have been on medication to control my symptoms and to control the growth of my tumors.
NETs are neuroendocrine tumors. These tumors can occur anywhere in the GI tract and also in the lung. These are slow-growing tumors, but about 20 to 25% of them can produce a constellation of symptoms such as explosive diarrhea, wheezes, facial flushing, and sometimes severe heart disease. This constellation of symptoms is known as carcinoid syndrome.
A condition Dr. Hal Gerstein describes as extremely debilitating, and patients like Mary Ann have been constantly misdiagnosed because symptoms are quite common.
The neuroendocrine tumors have the potential of producing certain substances which can initiate and potentiate this diarrhea, which can be so severe that patients can become dehydrated, running to the bathroom 8 to 10 to 12 times a day. It can produce wheezes that can mimic asthma. It can produce facial flushing, which can mimic menopause. And it can produce, in severe cases, valvular heart disease.
Before her last diagnosis, Mary Ann tells us she was always feeling trapped at home, living her life in the bathroom. And now it's amazing her life has changed so drastically.
Now with the medication, having surgery, and things like that, I'm able to travel all over the country, get on an airplane. We run a foundation, so I'm able to travel all over the country. So in 2003, we started a foundation that is called the Neuroendocrine Cancer Awareness Network. And we bring educational programs to patients and caregivers, and we just started doing physicians as well. We bring world-renowned doctors that know about the disease to the patients, so they can get the most updated information about treatment.
Earlier this year, we have a medication that was approved by the FDA called Zermelo, which along with the somatostatin analog specifically targets the production of serotonin from the neuroendocrine cancer cells. Serotonin is the substance that's responsible for this incredibly profuse, debilitating diarrhea. And with the use of this medication, we've now been able to significantly control the medication.
With the help of her supportive husband, this cancer survivor also launched a website and a hotline available every day of the year.
Our website is netcancerawareness.org. And our telephone number is 866-850-9555, and we do a referral of sending information packets of the updated information on new medications and treatments. And we also give referrals to doctors that treat this disease that know about it, because it's not a common disease. A lot of doctors don't know about it.
Bringing you the best of California. I'm Gigi Copes for California Life.
And that's it for us. If you missed any part of our show, go to our website, californialifehd.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
Watch us on our YouTube channel. Stay connected to our social media, like our blogs on Facebook. Follow our tweets on Twitter. And check out our posts on Instagram and Pinterest, where we bring you the best of California.